Hello, YouTube. So, was Micah Parsons right for requesting a trade from the Dallas Cowboys? So, this Micah Parsons, Jerry Jones situation seems to get more and more complicated as each day goes on. But ultimately, I do feel like for Micah Parsons, when you work so hard to be an NFL player, when you try to produce as much as you can, and you create such a great resume as an NFL player, in his 4 years that he's been in the league, he has been first team and All-Pro twice, second team once, and then a four-time Pro Bowler, as well as being the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year his rookie season. So that's quite the accomplishments for a young player. And ultimately, when he goes into games, you hear about opposing offenses saying how they're wondering where number 11 is. Is he on the defensive line? Is he playing linebacker? Where is he? Because he's so disruptive. There's also a lot of talk about whether or not he's durable enough, whether or not he's strong enough. Is his motor going to last throughout an entire game? So far in all the games of his that I've watched, he's always a factor somewhere. Of course, there is those times where opposing offensive lines and offensive coordinators find ways of neutralizing him, but he always finds a way of still impacting every single game. That's very Lawrence Taylor-esque, where opposing offense would always ask, where's number 56? Where's number 56? I feel like a lot of opposing offenses are doing the same thing with number 11, Micah Parsons. Where is he on the field at all time? Where can he impact the offense? Where can he come in and disrupt the offense and create issues? And for a defensive coordinator, that's quite the player to have. You can move him almost anywhere. Defensive line, linebacker, have him go back into coverage. There's so much that you can do with a player like that. So ultimately, when you have a player that's only been in the league for 4 years, they're going to want their first contract extension. And they're going to want to feel like they're being valued for all their accomplishments. So right now, the rumors are he's looking to be paid at least $40 million a year, which would make him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. So does he deserve it? I think there's a lot of things you could say that he makes him deserve it, and those things that you can also say that makes him not deserve it. But ultimately, that's just the going rate right now in the NFL. If you want a top-of-the-line defensive player, you're going to have to be looking at those kind of numbers to keep him on your team, especially one that's in his prime and hopefully can continue to develop. Now, this Micah Parsons situation really is made very complicated by his owner/GM, Jerry Jones, who always loves to make an impact, especially when it comes to his players requesting contract extensions when they're coming to the very end of their contract, their rookie contract. So for Micah Parsons, working so hard to be productive in the NFL and feel like you're going into your final season and you still don't have a new contract, risking possibly getting injured and losing millions and millions of dollars, is very frustrating for any player in that situation. And the last thing you want is for your head coach or general manager, owner to be making any kind of headlines and making it into somewhat of a spectacle. And that's what Jerry Jones has done with all of his previous big name free agents, ultimately leading to holdouts and players being signed either at the end of August or in September sometime after holding out. And Micah Parsons has so far been a really good player. He's been going to a lot of meetings. He's been doing what he can to stay connected to the team. But ultimately, he's become frustrated and he wants a trade because he doesn't feel valued. Because he feels like he is being used as a pawn, as some kind of entertainment piece by Jerry Jones, where Jerry Jones is able to make headlines. And that's what he's done in so many previous seasons, where he holds his players to the very end of the preseason before he signs them, kind of creating this whole feeling of like, am I going to be signed? Am I not? Do I risk getting hurt? Will it happen before the season? And a lot of players would hold out in this situation. And Micah Parsons is choosing to still show up. He's not playing in practice or anything like that, but he's still there, and he's ultimately become frustrated because he feels like he's not being listened to. So this is very Jerry Jones-esque. He would probably tell you, he's doing that everything right now to say like, okay, this is on Micah Parsons, this is on me, but we all know it is Jerry. It's Jerry being Jerry, and ultimately he will break the bank to keep Micah Parsons there. He just wants to take his time. He wants to let the media go all crazy over Micah Parsons and whether or not will he or will he not sign him, or will he or will he not be signed, or will he want a trade. And right now he has requested that August 1st that he wants traded out of Dallas. But I don't think Jerry Jones would let that happen. I think his ego is way too big for that, and also he wants the attention to be on his team, and he wants to have all the publicity on him. So do I feel like Micah Parsons will eventually get a contract extension? I do. Do I think he'll be one of the highest paid defensive players in the league? I do. Will he be the highest paid non-quarterback? I am not sure. It depends on what happens in the contract negotiations and what Jerry Jones ultimately wants to do. So this is, again, just another distraction for the team. I know a lot of the players are talking about how this is a distraction, get him signed, but Jerry Jones loves the distractions. Ever since he became owner of the team, he loves making statements. He loves having all the eyes on him, and will he or will he not re-sign his players? And ultimately in the past, he has proven that he will break the bank. So I do think at one point there will be a signing. Micah Parsons will be signed to an extension, and it will be a pretty substantial one when it's all said and done. But ultimately, it's just what has to happen before that happens. How far into the preseason will we get? Will it be right before the opening of the first week of regular season games? We don't know. But usually Jerry Jones likes to take his time. But his ego will not allow him to allow Micah Parsons to be traded to another team. So that will not happen. But ultimately, Micah Parsons will just have to be patient. And even though it's not very comfortable right now, he will have to do some kind of holdout, not participate in all practices, and just wait and buy his time until Jerry Jones is finally done making him into a pawn and making it a publicity stunt. And eventually he will be signed. So ultimately, I don't feel like Micah Parsons is wrong for requesting a trade. I can understand how he'd be frustrated. I can understand how he feels like his career is on the line and he has to do something to hopefully push negotiations along. So this was a good move for him. I do feel like it has made some kind of impact on Jerry Jones, but what that will be, I'm not quite sure. Will he have a contract sooner rather than later? I'm not sure, but it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how this will play out. So we'll have to wait and see what happens and see if he doesn't get re-signed for the first week of the regular season. So that's all I have for you today, YouTube, and I'll catch you on the next one.